What's up, guys? It's Dr. Showman and I'm here with another video. And it's been so long since I've seen this film, 2012. When I say that this movie was genuinely terrifying, from the earthquakes in LA down to like the ships having to row on the water, it's a satire that is kind of funny, but it's also a horror film. I mean, think about it. You've got a, annoying stepdad that's with your ex, and then you have to co-parent with your kids, living in LA, you're a struggling writer, and all of a sudden, you know you didn't reach your potential, but it is the end of the world, and world governments are racing to try to figure this out. They just got word from a scientist that just realized that the neutrinos in the sun are starting to, blurb out these solar flares that are messing with the, planet's stability or magnetic field, which causes this mayhem here. And when I say this is actually one of the most riveting scenes in the film, I was absolutely on the edge of my seat, even down to the point where they had to fly out of LA as it was caving in. And I thought that the movie did a good job of displaying the gravity that was being lost as they were gaining flight, because the magnetic field is, it's connected with the Earth's ground. So that's why it was so terrifying to see them even be able to fly out, let alone if there's still, the same amount of gravity flowing out of a city like that. It's insane, like how amazing this film did a good job of trying to depict certain things. Now, the RV scene with this and Yellowstone and the conspiracy nut, that was, a little far-fetched, and I thought it was a CGI fest at best. But looking back on it after, more than a decade, it's actually a pretty decent film, and I thought this brought some tension, and I was actually genuinely scared for him to lose his life, because he has these two kids and they don't really like their stepfather. They love their regular father, their biological father. So I thought it was just quite interesting that we actually cared when he fell in that hole. I do love that it plays on a bit of classism, and Roland Emmerich as a director has always done this in a lot of his apocalypse films. But nonetheless, I do think that this film kind of suffers from some of its comedy and its uncanniness when it comes to the CGI. If the CGI was a little better, it would be a little bit more horrific, but I will say in some scenes it looks great, and Roland Emmerich knows how to tell an apocalypse film for a blockbuster summer hit. And I remember when this came out, it was just a massive hit. And like I said, even the idea that we had to go to China, because I guess they were probably one of the last places to probably get hit by this earth-shattering, catastrophe. I thought it was cool that, you gotta go to China to get on the ships, and that was just an agreed thing around the world. Maybe it's because there's more of a population there as well, so maybe they can get more humans on these ships. But it's actually kind of realistic, like some of the politics of it, and it's kind of cool, like how they didn't have enough people to get on all the ships, and this rich father actually gave his life even though he was a prick. I think it just shows those classist states, like, dang, like, what are we willing to give up as humans? Are we gonna still be political? Are we still gonna be, ruthless and cruel? Or are we gonna go into the future understanding what real catastrophe looks like? We're talking about a whole flood. We're talking about like Noah's Ark again, pretty much. This is basically a modern day Noah's Ark. And it is kind of cool that it does have some of that biblical kind of vibe to it. I love the story. And I love that, like, the thing about this film, what makes it even more horrifying and spine-chilling, is the fact that in the end, sometimes we still care more about our survival than anything else. Now, I did think it was a little weird that John Cusack, who plays the main character, ends up back with his wife or his ex-wife or his ex-girlfriend at the end. And I know he has kids with her, but it's just kind of weird that the stepdad died trying to help fix the gears. And he got crushed, and then next thing you know, oh, they're kissing at the end. It's a little weird and uncanny, but overall, I think this is a great film. I think they did a good job, and I think that it is truly horrifying when you think about the aspects of what the film actually portrays. Like the idea that humanity is about to lose everything and have to completely rebuild is insane. The film ends with the crew in Africa, and yeah, happily ever after. I guess that's the landmass is still there. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Peace out and subscribe.